Welcome to the Next Podcast with Jay Cookingham, a heartfelt journey through grief, loss, and healing. After the devastating loss of his wife, Christine, Jay shares his raw, honest reflections on navigating life without her. This podcast explores the power of grief as a medicine that teaches resilience, invites lament, and leads us to discover God's presence during sorrow. With grace and vulnerability, Jay offers hope and encouragement to those walking through grief, reminding us that we're not alone on this journey of healing.
Hey, friends, and welcome to episode 42 of the Next Podcast, Moving Forward with Grief and Loss. I'm your host, Jay Cookingham, and I'm so grateful that you're listening to me today. We've been on this journey now for 41 episodes, walking through grief, through love, through trust, through memories, through all the cracks and the breaking together. And as I look back, I see some patterns, some themes that keep on surfacing for me. And I want to pause here and I want to name some of them and share what I've learned. Because here's the real truth, and we mentioned this before, that grief doesn't stand still. It changes, it shifts, it surprises us, it surprises me almost every day. And as it changes, so do we. And looking back matters to me. I don't always want to look back. Sometimes the rearview mirror reveals way too much. It's too full of what I've lost. But looking back can also be grounding. It can help me remember what God has already carried me through and give me confidence that He's still carrying me today. Because grief is not really just about loss. It's also about learning. And when I look back at my own journey, I see where and how God has been teaching me, and He's been teaching me lessons of love, lessons of grace, and so many lessons of forgiveness. Sometimes very slowly, these lessons come, sometimes very painfully, but God has always been faithful. And, grief is the lesson, the lesson plan that I never asked for, but it surely has been an effective one for me. So as I look back, 5 particular themes pop up repeatedly, and they become mile markers on this road of grief for me. And the first one is grief is measured by love. Grief is measured by love. The depth of my pain is proof of my love for Christine. Christine's absence still cuts deep because her presence was so life-giving to me. And that tells me something. It tells me that grief isn't the enemy. It's evidence that her love was real, and that our love together was real, that our life together was real and vibrant and so very rewarding. It's evidence that love is still real even to this day. I don't despise the ache anymore, the ache that grief causes because of her absence in my life. I don't despise it. I don't like it, but I don't despise it, because it means what we had together really, really mattered to me. These grief scars, a weird way of looking at it maybe, these grief scars are memory markers, and they are redemption stories. They remind me of God's mercy and grace throughout this very hard journey. Now, the second theme is that God is relentless in His goodness. If you remember, we spent some time exploring my 4 R's, relentless, resilient, repeatable, and rigorous. And they weren't just clever words for me. They were survival tools. And what I learned is this, that grief may be relentless, and it is relentless, but God's goodness is even more relentless. His mercy doesn't clock out. It doesn't run out. His grace doesn't expire. And every time I whisper a simple prayer like, help, please help, He shows up time and time again, So God is relentless in his goodness, a powerful theme that's been ongoing throughout my journey. And now the third theme that shows up a lot and reminds me of a really important truth, that lament matters. Psalm 13 gives me permission to tell the truth when it says, like, how long, O Lord? On one side of the prayer. And then in another part of the prayer, it says, but I trust in your unfailing love. Lament is not weakness. It's worship. It's faith in its raw form. And it has been my lifeline over and over again. Now, the fourth theme is really, really special to me, and something that has been really impressed on me since the very beginning of my journey with grief. And that is that sorrow and joy travel together. They walk together. I call it my parallel existence, joy and sorrow traveling side by side. They don't cancel each other out. They deepen each other. They don't compete. They cooperate, bringing grief to the surface to be dealt with instead of digging a hole and trying to bury it or bury me in it. I've laughed on days that I thought I would cry. I've cried in the middle of joy-filled moments. And I have learned to stop choosing between the two. They both belong. Now, number 5, grief keeps asking me to trust. At every turn, calendar grief, regrets, exhaustion, numbness of loneliness, the question has been the same. Will I and do I still trust God? Trust him with my broken heart. Trust him with my why me's, with the future that I don't understand. Looking back, I see how each layer of grief has been less about control and more about surrender. Trust has been the destination of my grief. Because in the end, God doesn't just want my healing, he wants my heart. And I love that. So moving forward, what does this mean as I step into the next part of my journey? It means that grief isn't just about what I've lost. It's also about what God keeps giving back to me. Perspective, resilience, hope, and even joy. And maybe that's the insurance that I want to leave with you today. That things can and will change. Not overnight, not neatly, but they can. Because if grief can deepen us, then grace can restore us. The past 41 episodes have been mostly about naming the pain. This next season, I wanted to be about noticing the gifts more. And as I journey with that, I hope to keep on trusting. So friend, as you listen today, I hope you hear this, that your grief has a story and it's not finished yet. The pain that you carry is real, but so is the love that you carry. And so is the God who walks with you, and so is the future that he's preparing for you. And remember this, always remember this. God is good. God is always good. He always answers out of his goodness, and we just need to learn how to trust his definition of good as we move forward. Thanks for being with me here and listening today. I'll see you next time on the next podcast.